Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Hot Toys 1/6 scale Black Widow from Captain America 2: The Winter Soldier. As always, taking a look at the packaging first, here we have Scarlett looking how she did as the Black Widow in Captain America the Winter Soldier. You got a really nice background here which has a bit of a reflective kind of look to it here along the side. It's very hologram-ish looking where it's a reflective the text on a matte background, so as you move it you can actually see that it says Black Widow. Really very nice. You can see that it's the movie Masterpiece series number 239, and then when you come around here to the side you got that same text. It just wraps around here though where you can actually see more of where, I mean, you can see where the top says Black Widow and then you come down here and you can see the bottom. You got the MMS series, you got the well, nothing really on the side. Come around here to this side and you have the cast and crew responsible for making this, who really do deserve a lot of credit. Now it is a bit of a shoebox kind of package, so it just slides. It's not easy to do because it sticks. Slide that up just like so, and what you're left with is a little bit of an insert here with the actual figure, also saying Black Widow down here, and then you see her little widow mark, which looks terrific. One thing is very different between this image and what we have in the actual figure, and we'll touch on that here in a little bit, but I want you to remember that face and how it looks. Not like it's too hard to do, but once you remove that, you have the typical clamshell with the figure here on the inside. You've got all of her accessories. She comes with a lot of hands. That's primarily her main accessories for this figure. She does come with 2 guns, and then I think it's like a cell phone or something. I'll take a look, but beyond that, that's really about it for the packaging. So again, remember how that face looks. Remember it well, because it doesn't necessarily look like that, but like I said, we'll touch on that here in a little bit. But packaging wise, very nice. It is a more simple sort of package, but it still does look very good and has that high quality adult collector feel. But enough of the packaging, let's get her open and see how cool she actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the Black Widow from Captain America the Winter Soldier opened up and out of her packaging. And I really am much more impressed with this figure than I thought I would be. Honestly, I was very content with my Avengers version, but this one has taken the Black Widow figure to a whole new level. Now, starting off first, we're going to take a look at her accessories. In addition to her 2 normal relax hands that are currently on the figure, she comes with 1 extra left hand that is more designed to hold this little thing, which we'll take a look here in a little bit. She's got 2 hands that are designed for shooting and blasting things. She's got 2 pairs of closed fists without her little stingers activated. Then she's got 2 fists that are closed that do have her stingers activated. As you can see, the difference being that you got the blue paint going on there, showing that there's power going through. She also does come with these 2 wrist guard things that actually have that same stinger effect on it. And then she does come with 2 regular ones, which are also on the figure. She does come with 2 of her handguns, which are exactly identical to the ones that we got with the Avenger version. As you can see, they are the exact same handgun. Both of them still have the spring-loaded sort of thing right up here, so, and you can't actually see it because it's blending in with the black, but you got that, and then it can also have the little clip remove and then plug right back in, so you do still have those, but again, they are complete reuses of what we got previously. Now, I don't have all of her other accessories, but this is the regular trigger hand from the Avenger one, and you can see that this one is actually different. This is the new Winter Soldier version. This is the old version. It's the same hand. It's both the left hand, but you can see that it's a little bit longer on the old one, whereas the new one is a little bit shorter, and then there's a different sort of design actually on the hand itself. Let me come in a little closer. That way you can actually see what I'm talking about there. And as you can see, there is a slight different design on the new hand. And like I said, it is also shorter. So in terms of the hands, they aren't at least reused, unlike the guns, but that is really very cool. Now staying zoomed in, because this is the exact same one just with the extra paint applications that she's currently wearing around the wrists on the new Winter Soldier version, I wanted to show the difference between these little stinger wrist bits. And as you can see, again, much smaller design. They also have they're basically the same diameter around, but they have a much more compact look, whereas these ones are spread out a little bit more. You can see that the new ones have a much tighter sort of look to them. So again, not just reuses of other accessories, except for those guns. And finally, she also comes with a very small accessory, which is her mobile phone. You can see that there is a kind of random looking design on it. I can't really make out what it says. Heck, I don't even know if I'm holding the right way, to be totally honest. It does have this little flap that comes down that doesn't really look like it does much of anything other than gives it a stand kind of thing. But this is definitely a phone that I would imagine somebody from Stark Industries invented. But kind of cool looking. I just wish I could actually make out what anything on it said. You got a nice silver paint on there, and very small, very simple, nothing overly extravagant with it. And then for one final accessory, she also does come with her display stand that says Black Widow, Captain America, Winter Soldier. Also has the adjustable cradle on there. Very simple. It's not one of the dynamic flight stands or anything like that, but you do have that logo and everything on there, which is really nice. But for the figure, this thing really is very impressive. It's, like I said, taken that Black Widow character that we got from Avengers in terms of figure form, and has just elevated it even more, making it far more accurate to how that she looked in that movie. Now, that's not to say that the Avenger one didn't look accurate. This just has a different look. One of the biggest things that you're going to notice is her hairstyle is much different than how it was in Avengers, and this works a lot better. Now, we're going to do this right away so we can actually get it over with, but for comparison reasons, here she is, and here's her Avenger version, and as you can see, the hairstyle is much different. And zooming in to take a look at that, I mean, one thing, I like the hairstyle here, don't get me wrong, but one thing that's really very unfortunate is you get a lot of loose strands that kind of go up all over the place. And I mean, her hair is put through in all across the entire scalp itself, so you get that coming out. This is much different. You can see it's a very clean, very silky, soft sort of look, whereas this has a lot more red. There is actually a lot more blonde sort of highlights in this new updated version. I'm trying to get her to stand on an angle here. You can see a lot more of those blonde highlights, whereas this one has a lot more red in it. Now, one thing that I'm also seeing, I don't remember where it was, but there was a picture that was showing that this one was a much shorter figure than the Avengers one, and that's not the case at all. Body-wise, I think it's the exact same. Now, the only thing that makes her a little bit taller, I think, is her hair kind of poofs up a little bit here, because I can feel it going down, whereas this is already very down towards the actual scalp. But you can see the actual highlights much better. Plus, her hair, it's kind of weird, but there's a big giant bald spot back here. You got the lower section of the hair, and then you got this top section, and doing that kind of messes it all up. But you just take this, maybe wet your thumb a little bit just to make everything stand down, but that is just a really gorgeous hairdo on there. I mean, it is accurate to how it looks in the actual film, and it just looks very nice here. Now, that's, again, not to say that the Avenger one looks bad. As you can see, it looks great as well. The face sculpt is a little bit different. Not much. A lot of people were saying that the new Winter Soldier version kind of has a Natalie Portman sort of look, and I guess maybe I really do see a very nice resemblance to Scarlett Johansson. Both of them, I think, look really good. I just think that the hair looks a little bit nicer here on the new version as opposed to the other one. It just has a much nicer kind of look, and you're not really seeing all the extra strands that are hanging out because they're so tiny. You can't see them very well on the against the background here. Now, staying zoomed in, and we're going to go down a little bit, taking a look at the actual suit itself. One thing that you're going to notice is that there's a darker black tone to this. This has a little bit more of a gray look to it. And I think that's just because the actual material used for the Winter Soldier version is actually cloth, whereas this one has a more elastic kind of spandex sort of feel. Now, it is, again, a very similar design. I mean, you can see she's got the little zipper thing, although I don't have that zipper as far down as that. She's got the Black Widow belt buckle right there. The belt itself is a little bit on an angle, whereas this one is a little bit more straight. You can see that they both do have the belt. This one on the new Winter Soldier version has a little bit more silver detailing on it, but still looks really good. And then coming down more, you're taking a look at her legs. Again, they look very much the same. There is a little bit more articulation in the Avenger one because this is a much more pliable material, and you couldn't really see much because it was blurry, but this one does still have a nice range of motion, but because this is a fabric, it's not as flexible as what we got with the Avenger version. That's not bad. I don't pose her in any kind of crazy poses, but I know some people would like to get more of a crouch down pose with her, and you really can't do that. You couldn't even really do it with the Avenger one, but it's a lot more limited here. You do see that she does have the thigh holsters much like she did on the original one, and then as we continue to come down even more, you can see that her boots really kind of keep the same look, but just have a little bit more of an updated sort of feel to them. Again, all of that is just attention to detail and making it look a little bit more of an accurate piece in the actual film. But that's really not to say that the Avenger one really was all that bad. Both of them do a terrific job of capturing that look. You can see that her shield logo is a little bit different, but again, nicely representative of how it looked in the film, whereas the Avenger one is a much larger one. This one is a little bit more tiny. One thing that I will say though, and I wanted you guys to remember that picture from the actual packaging, that one has a little bit more of a reddish tone to her face. There's a little bit more the flush kind of blood in the cheeks kind of look. If I were to pick a bit of a nitpick on the figure itself, I would probably say that the actual face, the skin tone is a little bit less realistic than I would like. I think giving that little bit of a flush kind of look would have really made it look more real. Some people have said that it kind of looks like a mannequin. I don't really agree with that. I think that's a bit of an effect of having very bright lights on the figure, and it might be doing the exact same thing with my camera, but I don't think that it's really all that bad. I think the likeness looks really good. From some angles, I do see where people get the Natalie Portman sort of look, but I think that's a little bit of an extreme case. I don't think it really looks like her that much. Maybe from some angles, I guess you could sort of see it, but for me, as I said, I really do see Scarlett Johansson here. Now, articulation-wise, it is pretty much the exact same that we got before. It is a little bit more limited because the suit material is different. You do have a ball joint. If you wanted to, you could pop her head off, and you could take the original one, and that will fit on there perfectly fine. So you could put this on there, and I don't really see much of a difference. It kind of looks the exact same. But if you like that suit from the Avengers, you could probably take this head sculpt and you could put it on there, or do this one with the Winter Soldier figure. It's personal preference. So the head sculpts are completely swappable. You can do that if you so desire. Make a perfect kind of looking figure, I suppose. It's really just whatever you want for your collection. The shoulders move in and out, they rotate, but as you rotate them, you do kind of want to rotate the material as you're going along with it, just to help move things around a little bit so that things don't get out of the way. You've got a double joint here at the elbow, so nice range of motion there, getting that all the way down. She does rotate at the elbow as well, so that articulation point is still there as well. Rotates at the wrist, the hips, she's got a torso, she does rotate at the waist, so all of that is there. Hips down here, I said hips up here, but that's not right. They move forward and back, in and out, they rotate, but again, there is some limited motion because of the actual suit itself. The suit on the Avenger one probably is a little bit better than this one just because of that flexibility. She does have two joints here at the knee. She rotates at the boot. You probably have, well, here, no, actually that's all the way in there. So this is her foot, so just peg that all the way in there. So you're not going to get much in terms of a pivot with it. As you can see, it's all basically one point. So you do have all of that. Her weapons here do holster. very nicely, just like they did on the original figure. And if you want her holding her cell phone, again, you can take this hand, you pop that off, if I can get it to pop off. It always makes me nervous when I'm pulling these pins, just because I am worried that they may break at some point in time, and these ones are a little bit smaller, so get that on there, and then you can have her holding her cell phone in her hand, just like this. So you can have her doing that. Again, you could swap out her other hand, have her hold a gun. You can have the stingers on there. It's all, again, all your personal preference, what you want for your display option. I mean, this really is a very good looking figure. It was one that I honestly did not think I was going to like really all that much. It was one of those that and you can get her to kind of pop her hip a little bit and get a little sass in her stance and have her holding down her hands down on her belt and get her, like I said, get a little sass going with her. I mean, it looks great. I mean, as I said, I was really very much on the fence about getting this figure. I really enjoyed that Avenger one, but this one looks really incredible. I think what really helps this figure look even better is the new hairstyle. I think it's incorporated and utilized very nicely here in this figure. Now, being that she is a smaller figure and comes with fewer accessories, her price nicely does reflect that. At only $190, I really feel that you're getting a terrific figure for a really good price. This is definitely one that I think a lot of people are on the fence about, especially since we got such a really good version with the Avengers. And there isn't too much that is different, just in general, between this and that Avenger one. It's just the evolution of the character is really nicely captured in this particular piece. The portrait on her looks really good. I don't think it looks any worse or any better than the Avenger one. I think what does look a little bit different is the hairstyle, and that's just natural. I mean, she does have a much different hairstyle, so naturally I would expect it to look different. But I really do appreciate that instead of just reusing things like hands or even the little shocker wrist guards, not using the same ones as the Avenger one really does nicely speak to the overall quality that I think Hot Toys brings to these. Specifically their attention to detail, which I think absolutely nails it here. But Black Widow has a really nice evolution going from Avengers to the Winter Soldier, and I think the character nicely captures that as well. So even if you do have that original Black Widow from the Avengers, I would seriously consider adding this one to your collection, especially if you consider getting the Captain America and the Steve Rogers figure that's going to be coming out eventually. I think her and Cap are going to look great together. So if you are interested in picking her up, go ahead and click on that link down in the video description. You'll go to Sideshow Collectibles where you can pick her up and add her to your collection today. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that you can keep in touch with me by liking my Facebook page at facebook.com/teambotimus and by following me over on Twitter at twitter.com/optibotimus. Also, I'd really encourage you to check out my new website at optibotimusreviews.com, where you can see all my videos from the previous week, as well as see what I have coming up for future release. And I'd also really appreciate it, guys, that if you like this review, to please like, comment, and share this video. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.